Hello, I am Matthew, and this is my AP Human Geo summer assignment. First, let's start off by talking about the films I watched over this past summer. The first film was American Factory by Jeff Reichert. American Factory was a great film. It was about a Chinese automotive glass company called Fuyao Glass that brought 300 Chinese workers to America to try to start an American factory. They joined 600 other American employees and attempted to coexist and work together. Over time, the Chinese managers began to not follow the American laws and start to run the factory as if it were in China. The Americans did not like this, eventually leading to the downfall. Minimalism by Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus. I did not like minimalism as much as American Factory. I found it quite boring, to say the least. I like the mindset of minimalism, but I don't know if I could give up all the stuff. Not exactly because it being stuff, but losing the people by giving up those stuff is just not worth it to me. Theme. So the theme I found between both of the films was functionality. Functionality has a great impact on both the films, bringing out good and bad aspects of the functional mindset. So the first point is the cluttered mindset. To start, American Factory, I heard your workers like to talk and joke around a lot. The best tool to stop that would be to tape their mouths. This quote is from when one of the Chinese workers is talking to an American worker about how the difference in their work and how they joke and talk and how that's different from back in China. This is considered bad to the Chinese people because it is seen as another distraction throughout the day. It prevents people from getting their work done, it prevents functionality. Next is minimalism. There was this gaping void in my life, so I tried to fill that void the same way many people do, with stuff, lots of stuff. So here Joshua is talking about when he wasn't happy in the beginning before his minimalistic mindset and how he really wasn't getting any joy from buying all this stuff, and he just wanted to find out why everyone has always told him the more stuff you have, the happier you're going to be. So why isn't he happy? Next is the transition from the cluttered to the completely functional style. So the transition in American Factory didn't go very smoothly, unfortunately for the Chinese people, as they had hoped. So the quote from the film was 400 and something degrees, and they're 6 feet away from it. We need to find some solutions. So some type of manager was inspecting the operations at Fuya Glass and noticed that in the actual oven where they melt the glass, American workers were really, really close to over 400 degrees heats, and without any protection, without any regulation, like they would have had back in China. So these Chinese workers and managers are trying to prevent safe workspace because it is cheaper, easier, and more functional throughout the day. Minimalism. The quote I chose was, "Why the hell are you so happy?" He spent the next 20 minutes telling me about this thing called minimalism. This is also at the beginning of the minimalism film when Joshua is talking to his friend about how he is so happy with all these without all this stuff. What makes him happy? And this is really where Joshua notices that all of his stuff is not the right way. He needs to simplify his life, make sure everything has a purpose. and he'll find a lot more happiness and joy out of that. So finally, total functionality. Total functionality doesn't exactly happen in American Factory because eventually the American workers don't want to put up with what is going on anymore. So the quote I chose was, "We used to have one person here. Now we don't have anyone. Next, I'm going to get rid of 4 workers here." This is when one of the higher ups, one of the Chinese higher ups, is talking to a few other high ranking Chinese officials in the company, talking about how he was able to get rid of American workers and put in robots, which shows that it doesn't matter whatever it takes to produce the highest profits, they're going to do it. So if they have to take out jobs and put in machines, that's what they're going to do. In the minimalism film, I chose this quote: "And now, as a minimalist, every possession serves a purpose and brings me joy." So this is nearing the middle of the film. Joshua is talking about how he has changed, and now everything he has brings him joy. Everything he has its own purpose, has a reason for him to have it, and this prevents stress um, and clutteredness within his house, just making his overall day cleaner and happier. Finally, my opinion on the two films. First, I basically learned that anything that is not functional is a waste of time and energy. I noticed that um, I too do want a lot of stuff, and maybe that is a stressor in my life, and I could remove that, and that would make me a lot happier. Second, both films show a reason why this simplistic lifestyle and business style is good and bad. I believe that minimalism shows how lifestyle can be simplistic and also beneficial, but also the Fuyao Glass Company shows how too much simplicity in the workplace can cause clashing between workers and managers and bosses. Third, I would have liked to have seen more from the employees at Fuyo Glass. Basically, I would like to have heard more of their conversation, more of how the Chinese workers and American workers communicated. I know it was hard because of the language barrier. And then my opinion on minimalism, as I said earlier, is I don't think it would be as hard as giving up the stuff, but with giving up the stuff comes giving up the people, because even though you give up all your stuff, all your friends and family might not want to give up their stuff as well. So that could cause just loss of relationships. Thank you.